Prince Handley coming to you with 100,000 watts of pure healing, miracle-working love. Today I want to talk to you about preparing for the 10 Kings, Part 2. I want to give you a description of this teaching. In this message, I want to continue to extend my teaching concerning preparation of the 10 kings that the Bible speaks about several times, not only in the Tanakh, the Old Testament, but in the Brit Chadashah, the New Testament. This will be part 2 of the message. My friend, make sure you read or listen to part 1. I put a link for that in the show notes of the podcast. These 10 kings are a key element concerning end-time prophecy, and they may be on the scene now. They may not know what role they are to fulfill, or even have a faint idea concerning prophecy, but they will be key in helping the false Messiah, that's the antiChrist, not the real Messiah, come into power. They will actually persuade the leaders of the nations and leaders of the new global governance to elect antiChrist, aka the beast, to the office of global leader. Now, in this message, I will also survey the position, or what position, the USA may play in this geopolitical pattern. So let's talk about regional globalization, preparing for the 10 Kings, Part 2. Recently, there have been some far-right shifts in the international political landscape. In India, President Narendra Modi had a very weak showing in June's election. Also in France, President Emmanuel Macron showed poorly. But in November, President-elect Donald Trump and the Republican Party showed what the American populace think and want: closed borders, safe communities, and economic growth with less government spending and overlay. In other words, less control. However, in other places in the world, there have been some far-left shifts. These shifts manifest geopolitical fragmentation, or a breaking up of globalism with fluidity. I want you to notice the 10 kings will manifest quickly. This will require geopolitical fluidity. Revelation 17 verse 12 says, "The 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast." Again, that's Revelation chapter 17 verse 12. Notice this. Most people do not realize that democracy is a program where people have a right to participate, the advantages of which are when the majority are good people. However, if most of the people in this program are dishonest or evil, then the result will be a corrupt form of program. I say that to say this: democracy can be fluid, even fragile, depending upon its representatives, not just those in office, but also those who elect them. It is the same for leaders of the multinational corporations. Check this out, my friend. A spiritually deceived multination complex will support and help elect the Antichrist. Let me repeat that. A spiritually deceived multination complex will support and help elect the Antichrist. Antichrist does not need support of the whole world to start his rule. Many end-time events are marked by rapid change, but may at the same time be obfuscated purposely. The false Messiah, not the real Messiah, not the real Mashiach of Israel, will join to himself, or at first be part of, 10 geopolitical leaders to assist in his end-time policies. We also have record of this in Tanakh, in the same book of Daniel, chapter 7, verses 23 to 25. These 10 kings are 10 geopolitical entities that have not existed before. They will make up a global alliance, newly organized, out of which the false Messiah, the Antichrist, will evolve. They will assist the new global leader, that is, the 10 kings, the 10 leaders, will assist the new global leader in the foolish and failed attempt at opposing the real Mashiach. But Daniel shows elsewhere that these 10 world leaders are represented by 10 toes on 2 feet. Should we assume that the 10 toes have 2 big toes, one on each foot, or no big toes at all? In other words, all the toes are smaller, regular-sized toes. If all of the toes are of relative size, with no big ones, this would mean that the USA will not be part of the 10-nation confederacy, unless the USA shrinks enormously in either economic status or importance. If, however, there are 2 big toes in Daniel's vision, then the USA and another world power could be part of the 10-nation confederacy, which supports and helps elect the antiChrist. Now, don't forget that these 10 kings may not be governments. They may be global stakeholders, government-private partnerships. That's just what the World Economic Forum supports: multinational corporations, stakeholders, government stakeholders. One thing we know, 10 international leaders, either governmental or stakeholders such as multinational corporation leaders, will have the ability to influence international policy. In Daniel chapter 2, verse 43, we read, "And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile." In another perspective, 10 other international powers could become more strategically dominant and more powerful than the USA in the future. Or, conversely, the USA could be devastatingly weakened and become one of the 10 kings, or not part of 10 kings. One thing we can be sure of, I think, is that there will not be a female, who is part of the 10 kings, or the 10 international leaders. And why I think that is, of the 2,481 mentions of the singular word king in the Holy Bible, all refer to males. Rapid and unfolding events will usher in the 10 kings, and they, the 10 kings, will rapidly, with unfolding decrees, usher in the Antichrist, the false Mashiach, again, not the real Messiah. So who might be potential candidates for the 10 kings? BRICS, B-R-I-C-S, has as its main purpose to destroy the economic and military influence of the USA and the West. The original members of BRIC were Brazil, Russia, India, and China, with South Africa joining in 2020 and attending the 3rd annual BRICS conference. Since then, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates have joined BRICS, plus the following 9 countries are partner states. The 9 that I'm getting ready to mention are partner states that would get support from BRICS members even though these countries are not officially part of the bloc. Those 9 are Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Indonesia, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Turkey, and Vietnam. Note this: Saudi Arabia was invited to join at the 15th BRICS Summit, but has not yet formalized its approval to become a BRICS member. In addition to the first member nations, there have also been 22 other countries applying for membership. Does this seem to manifest potential candidates for the 10 kings? Realize also that the future rise of Islamic geopolitical influence, especially as regards to WEF and the UN and BRICS as it relates to oil and the Middle East, may be a game changer in the confluence of the end-time 10 kings. And what if the Antichrist, false Messiah, is from an Islamic background? I want you to notice some things. BRICS members could be part of 10 kings. BRICS could reduce USA to regular toe size and position USA as a candidate for one of the 10 kings. Each of the 10 kings can be a nation, or they can be MNC, a multinational corporation. The USA may be strong and become the world leader again. The USA has 12 years to undo the Biden corruption. I say that because from 2024 to 2028, The Lord willing, if everything is well with him, President Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States, will rule those 4 years. The next 8 years after that could be Vice President Vance or somebody else, with a total of 12 years, which could bring the United States back into the fold of normalization, reality, practicality, and international sovereign power. Now, things we know for sure. Satan hates Israel. As long as USA helps Israel, the USA will not be one of the 10 kings. No woman or female by birth, biologically, will be part of the 10 kings. However, a trans may be. 10 kings receive authority right before the beast or the antichrist is chosen. Let me say that again. 10 kings receive authority right before or nearly the same time as the antichrist is chosen and takes authority. They help him get elected. The 10 kings will transfer their authority to the beast and help him to be the global leader. You will see a great megacity of wealth and international trade flourish richly. The beast and the 10 kings will destroy this center of commerce, known as Babylon in the New Testament in the book of Revelation. The beast and the 10 kings will try to fight against the real Mashiach, Yeshua. Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus, the Messiah, will bring peace and rule from Jerusalem. My friend, make sure you know the real Messiah. Tough times are coming, and tougher after them. Make sure you know him. If you are not sure that you know the Messiah, the Mashiach of Israel, the Son of God, then pray this prayer. I pray to you, Father in heaven, and ask you to forgive my sins. Please save me and help me to live for you. I ask your Son, Yeshua, Jesus, to be my Lord and to take over my life. I want to serve you, Father in heaven. Thanks for giving me a new start. My friend, if you prayed that prayer, your life will begin to change. God's Holy Spirit will live inside of you. Read the Holy Bible every day. Start in the book of John and pray every day. Ask God to lead you to a good church or a good messianic synagogue that believes in miracles and the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And check out the key resources that I placed at the bottom of the show notes of this podcast. This has been your friend, Prince Handley, coming to you with 100,000 watts of pure healing, miracle-working love. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai.